This is Matt from Brunch Boxing, and I'm here with a very, very special guest. He returns to the ring April 10th, James L. Knight Center, Miami, Florida. He will be challenging Michael Garcia for the interim 30 boxing heavyweight championship of the world. We got the Wolf himself, the face that runs the place. Rob Perez, what's going on, Rob?
How you doing, brother man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm chilling, man. Listen, like I said, you're coming back April 10th. You're going up against Michael Garcia. You're going to be fighting for the interim DBX heavyweight championship at DBX6. Just tell the people about your upcoming event.
Man, it's just the return of the wolf. It's just sad it has to be Garcia, in his delusional mind, he thinks that he deserves this shot, and he doesn't. If I would have never got injured, I would have been beaten on Rosenstrike. But God has a plan, and it's all on God's timing. And it's sad it got to be him. But I'm here to entertain, give the people what they want, and the rest is history.
Now, God definitely has a plan, but I want to know your plan going into this fight on April 10th.
Man, like I said, I'm just going in there to, put on a show, put DBX on the map, and there ain't no man can strike fear in the wolf's heart. The only man that can do that is God. And yeah, man, it's just gonna be fun. I live for this. I'm not like your average fighter where, they gotta go to the construction job or they gotta go, whatever they gotta do. My 9 to 5 is just being in the gym and I just love it. And so when I go out there, I go out there with no stone unturned and you train hard, you fight easy and and it's shown.
Now, you actually are one of the few people that have like a real boxing background. You did some amateur boxing, professional boxing. What drew you to dirty boxing?
Man, I just want to, I just want to get on the map, mostly show my kids that, you could do anything you put your mind to, and I've been training from we've been going on like maybe 4 or 5 years now that I started picking up, actual boxing instead of, the smokers or the rough and rowdies. And, it just made sense. You know what I mean? I'm 33 years old. I'm not trying to sit here and, go the traditional boxing route and stack up a record and then what I mean. All my fights, I believe beside no, actually all my fights besides one I've all been on the B side. I don't care about being the local hero or putting on local cards for people and then being 10-0 just to get a shot to fight like Richard Torres and then get slumped and then there goes my career. And it just happened. Like I said, it's all part of God's plan, and it really has been. Because I reached out to DBX before, and they didn't respond. I could only imagine all the DMs they were getting, and then I came across AJ, the matchmaker, and they needed an opponent for Fabio Tarrant, and I was just blessed to get the opportunity, and we've been running with it ever since.
It's kind of interesting. You say that you've never really been the A side before. You've always been the B side, but you have been the A side for this promotion. DBX is really putting their muscle behind you, and I see your face everywhere. You're not yet the heavyweight champion. They have a Biggie Boy as the heavyweight champion, but you seem to be the face of the company that they have identified to really put them on the map. Do you get that sense? And if so, like, what's that like for you being the guy that's relied upon to carry a company?
I mean, it's honestly an honor. It just like I said, it just happened that way. It wasn't a module or like a plan from the beginning. It just, like I said, I always been able. I always like to talk shit. I always entertain. I used to in my amateur bouts, they would call my name and I would howl. And I used to get laughed at. I used to get ridiculed, because one, you're a nobody, and two, that's not how boxing really works. I always been a showmanship. I always been a showman, and my showmanship has been me throughout, from high school football to semi-pro football, and they just gravitated towards it. Um, And I don't honestly, I don't care about a belt. You know, let's just say in a psychotic world, I get beat up by Garcia, which won't happen. But you know, even still, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change who I am. It doesn't change the wolf. I'm still gonna be the face of DBX. Like I always say, DBX is my backup Instagram page. I can't help it. I just like to be entertaining. I like to put on a show. I like to sell tickets, and DBX is a great company to fight for, and I'd love to see them strive, and they will strive and be better than any other promotion out there.
Now, we all know that you're known for your trash talking, you're known for your power, your aggressive style. But take us behind the scenes. What is a day in the life of Rob Perez, like in the gym?
Man, I just it sucks because uh when when it's time to go, it's time to go. But other than that, I'm very humble. You know, I I don't I haven't been diagnosed, but I swear I have, multiple personality disorder. Like the wolf is the wolf and Rob is Rob, you know what I mean? So when I don't have to be the wolf, yeah, I'm me, you know what I mean? I'm a chill dude. Yeah, anybody in my gym could tell you I'll get in there and spar with anybody or, train anybody or teach, you know what I mean? And literally that's all I do. I go to the gym in the morning, wake up, my routine, brush my teeth, wash my face, wash my ass, get to the gym, get in there for about like 3, 4 hours. Then I leave, come home, eat some tuna with some eggs, take a quick little cat nap. Then I'm back in the gym, come home, shower, eat, sleep. And that's literally what I do 6 days a week, out of the week. And then, on the weekends, I be with my, as more of my family time, church on Sunday, grandma's house afterwards for the home cooked meal. Yeah, I'm a pretty chill dude. Yeah.
Now, you don't have to obviously cut weight because you're a heavyweight, but you do have to eat pretty clean preparing for a fight. Once the fight's over, what's your go-to meal? I know you mentioned going to Granny's house.
Yeah.
What's the meal for Rob Perez?
I mean, honestly, I changed the way I eat. As I'm getting older, I gotta stay away from certain foods and stuff like that. But other than that, I like I said, I eat what I'm heavyweight for a reason. You know what I mean? So, but definitely leading up to this fight, I've been eating a little more cleaner. But if I had to go, I wouldn't be a go-to meal, but some Uncrustables. I could eat like 20 of them bitches. No cap. I could eat 20 Uncrustables like back to
Hey,
back.
those strawberry ones are
Yo,
good,
man. And then
man.
you stick them in the freezer. Oh, it's over. Yeah, it's over.
Now, we have the full heavyweight champion, like we mentioned before. Obviously, you wanted to fight him. You weren't able to make that fight. How confident are you that you're going to be standing across from him in your next fight? Should you be successful on April 10th?
Nah, I'm definitely gonna be successful. Um, it, it's written. It just hasn't been told. And he Rosenstraight got to see me, man. Like I said, even if I got to go to his country, whatever we got to do to make this fight happen, it's definitely gonna happen. Because, not that I care what people think, but there's a lot of speculation going out there that I'm ducking him and blah blah blah, and I didn't want to fight him. So you got to get the people what they want. So he got to come see the Wolf. He definitely not the heavyweight champ. He got
Nah,
lucky.
he definitely got to come see the Wolf, but the people want to come see the Wolf on April 10th. So for the people that's gonna come out and see you, the people that's gonna watch on YouTube, just tell the people what they should be expecting from Rob the Wolf Perez.
I mean, if you haven't tuned in to Dirty Boxing, man, you're missing out first and foremost. And if you don't know who the Wolf is, man, you need to get to know who the Wolf is. You need to watch my last 3 fights because I bring it every fucking time. I bring the heat, I bring the intensity, I bring the pressure, and these motherfuckers that step in the ring with me can't handle it.
All right, man. And real quick before we get out of here, just tell the people where they can follow your journey at.
You already know y'all can catch me on Instagram underscore mr.wolf54. And man, and yeah, just go ahead and take a gander and go ahead and scroll down, man. You won't be disappointed.
And while I appreciate you taking the time to join me, man. Best of luck. Your fight April 10th. Rob the Wolf Perez,
You already know.
DBX6. You already know what it is.